Have you ever noticed that not everyone loses their life in the same way? Some people are dealt one devastating blow, a phone call, an accident, diagnosis, one moment, and everything changes. My story wasn't like that. Mine, I call death by 1,000 cuts. Living with chronic pulmonary disease wasn't one catastrophic event. It was one small piece after another. A little less energy, a little less breathing. One medication added to the next. Hospitalization. One thing I loved quietly slipping away at a time. Until one day, I looked around and realized I wasn't even really living anymore. I was surviving. It's like if you were to hire somebody you trusted completely to manage your finances. Every day, they were quietly stealing a few dollars. Not enough to notice. Not enough to panic. Just enough that years later, your account was empty. That's what my chronic illness felt like. Not one wound, 1,000 tiny ones. By the time I understood what had happened, I was already figuratively bleeding out. But what I discovered, whether your life falls apart all at once or slowly over years, eventually you're going to arrive at the same place. The life you knew no longer exists. Now, that is the place that doctors can't rebuild for you. Medicine matters. Doctors matter. Nutrition, movement matters. Those things are all part of it. But there's another kind of healing that happens after the appointments end. It's the rebuilding of you. At first, it feels like standing in the ashes. Everything familiar, gone. The identities you built, the beliefs you carried, the life you thought you were supposed to live, all burned away. It's tempting to rebuild exactly what was there before, even if it was already collapsing, because familiar feels safe. But your soul knows. It whispers, you can't live here anymore. So then the real work begins. Not building, not yet. Clearing, removing the rubble, questioning everything. Who told me this is who I am? Who taught me this is what success looks like? Which fears are actually mine? Which beliefs have I been carrying that were never meant for me? It can be exhausting work. But slowly, something incredible happens. As you clear away everything that isn't you, you slowly begin to discover who you actually are. Now, the ground is different. It's empty, but it's fertile. Now, you get to plant intentionally, not from a place of fear, not from survival, but from alignment. You build relationships that nourish you, habits that sustain you, a body you care for instead of fight against, a mind you learn to observe instead of obey, a spirit that you finally begin listening to. For me, this became balance, not perfection, balance. Because even the healthiest field can't produce forever. It has to be watered. It has to rest. It has to receive before it can give again. I realized people are no different. Our minds need rest. Our bodies need nourishment. Our souls require stillness. None of them can be neglected without eventually affecting the others. Healing stopped being something I chased and slowly became something I practiced every day. About 18, 19 months ago, my body finally said enough and was shutting down completely. I honestly didn't know if I'd get my life back at that point. Today, my latest CT scans tell a different story. For the first time since my diagnosis, my disease has remained stable for almost a year. No progression. No new fibrosis. Even more incredible, the enlarged lymph nodes in my chest have shown significant healing. To me, that feels like a miracle. Not because one thing healed me, but because I finally stopped asking one thing. I finally stopped asking one thing to do all the work. The doctors, the medication, nutrition, movement, spirituality, purpose, rest, relationships, self-love. These weren't here competing. They were meant to work together. And maybe that's the lesson all of this has been trying to teach me. Healing isn't about becoming who you were before. It's about becoming someone you never could have become without walking through the fire. Today, I'm more grateful than I ever thought possible. Not because I got sick. I would never wish this journey on anyone. But inside that suffering, I found parts of myself I may never discovered otherwise. I've become a better father, a better husband, a better friend, and a better man. Not because life became easier, but because I finally rebuilt it intentionally. If you're watching this and you're in the middle of your own 1,000 cuts, whether it's chronic illness, addiction, grief, anxiety, or simply a life that no longer feels like your own, just remember, the rubble isn't the end of the story. Sometimes it's the foundation of the life you were always meant to build. Take your time. You're one piece of debris today, another tomorrow. Trust that every intentional step is rebuilding something stronger than what came before. And above all, remember to stay in balance. Because healing isn't just about surviving. It's about learning how to live again.